always said that our best energy supplement is a room full of Shaklee people. So if you're ever feeling down or lonely or sad, just go find our Shaklee community and you will be uplifted, and that's the magical part. Thank you everybody for coming here. Thank you for being part of our company. Thank you for all of the effort. Kim, that was fantastic when we brought up some of our Shaklee family members who've been here for a really long time. This is a strange experience in a wonderful, good way, which is that I try to make it a point to personally thank everyone who is on our incentive trips. I tried to last night, but there's too many of you to do that. So I hope over the next few days to have a few moments with all of you just to express how grateful we are. And we have so many, like in our corporate office, we see the list of names, and it's names on a page, and we have all the metrics that you grew your business by this, and you helped introduce a certain number of people into Shaklee, and you helped develop them, and all these other statistics. But at the end of the day, we're all people, and seeing you here together and gathering with you is such a wonderful, wonderful thing for us. And I want to just say that I was standing at the entrance to the room, and a woman named Heidi came to me, and she said, "Look, can I take 5 minutes of your time?" And I said, "Just sure, walk with me." And she said, "I was with another company before, and I wasn't healthy, and I didn't think that I could join a health and wellness business because I didn't feel that I was healthy myself, and so I was resistant until somebody, one of my customers eventually went to Shaklee and decided I would give it a shot." She said over the last, 12 to 18 months, she's lost 40 pounds. It's transformed her life. Now she's helping people live a healthier life. And I wish everybody here fully understood the potential impact that you have. Because here's where we are in the world. If you're in health and wellness as a business, we're still at the very leading edge of a movement which is to transform the way that people live. And so much of it is just information. There's Heidi right there in the front row. Heidi, stand up. But it's a reminder. I will go to dinners and lunches with people who are running very large companies. These are people who have access to a lot of information, and the minute they understand or know what business that I'm in, I am bombarded with questions. How much protein should I be taking? What kind of collagen should I be taking? What vitamins should I be taking? And they're curious and they're interested, but they still don't know. And we have the opportunity to provide information. Information, zero cost, okay, can help you change so much. Just in our own personal world, when I bought Shaklee, I was looking at buying Shaklee. We came home one day, and our oldest son, who was 4 at the time, had trouble breathing. And we had to rush him to the hospital, and it turned out that he was having an asthma attack. And my wife is a consumer journalist, and we went back into our family history, like, there's no history of asthma or allergies in our family. And one of the things that we began to realize is that when we had our little kids, we were scrubbing our house with all these chemicals in the products to do that. And my first 2 have nut allergies. My third one, who was born after Shaklee, nothing. And just the information to get rid of your toxic load. Right now you go saying, how do I live? What's my optimum level of nutrition? I was sitting with the former chair of our scientific advisory board, was a wonderful woman who was one of 7 women to win the Nobel Prize in the sciences. Okay, she won the Nobel Prize in medicine. And she and I would go to things together. I spent a lot of time with her, and she'd be like, "Roger, what we're questing for is optimum levels. So right now, the government has put minimum daily levels for survival. Now, for those of you that are history buffs, in the 1400s or so, they figured out that if you had oranges on your ship, you wouldn't get scurvy because you needed vitamin C. So the basic level, the question is, what's the level to survive? Because the definition of a vitamin is something your body needs to survive that it does not make itself or make sufficiently itself. So you have to supplement it. That's where the word's coming. What's the difference between survival and optimal? And we've been on a 70-year quest to sort of keep advancing the state of science in order to give people whatever it is the optimal. And I can just tell you right now, from looking at people who've been in Shaklee for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we're doing a good job at providing optimal nutrition. So I want to just encourage everybody to sort of feel that you are in the right place at the right moment in the right sector. Because right now, if I look out at the world and you say the most transformative technology that's being developed is AI, and we spend a lot of time thinking about what's the role of the human in the future and how important human is. And so if you're going to be in a business, there's two things that I would suggest that you should think about. The first one is the human, are humans going to be at the center of that business or not? Okay? And I can tell you, there's been studies done that when people connect in person, not over a Zoom, that there's a part of their brain that lights up, okay? And we here have this powerful community. We called our business community marketing. We filed for a trademark for it for two reasons. One, you are at the center of our business model, and I don't foresee that changing ever. And the second, you can clap for that, that's good. And the second thing is that you want to be in a business that gets the benefit of long-term compounding growth. So I'm friendly and I admire Tony Robbins very much. And the reason why is that he doesn't invent things, but he goes and he extracts from leading experts insights. So he wrote a book about financial wealth, and he interviewed all these people who were managing and investing money very successfully. And the secret, right, to wealth accretion over time is compounding over time. So if you want to compound over time, you have to be in a business that allows you time to grow. So your industry has to grow, and you have to be in it to grow, and that allows you to get the benefit of compounding over time. Does that make sense? I mean, I know it's pretty early in the morning on your incentive trip to kind of do this, but it's a really important concept. So my first question when I was looking for a business was what industry could we be in that's going to guarantee to grow for the next 50 years? And eventually, after going through hundreds of different industries, we centered in on health. And on the health side, we have a lot of nurses. Who's your nurse practitioner, health practitioner in this audience? Okay. So many of you have come up to you and say, I just love now being part of a company where we can deal with wellness, help people well, rather than just treat people when we're sick, right? That is a transformational shift. Our whole healthcare system is based on sick care because you only interact when you're sick. And we have an opportunity to share health, and health at the end of the day is wellness. Right? H2O. Health to. Yeah. So this is now the health and wellness. So the health and wellness industry, huge. More importantly than how big it is how much it's going to grow, right? It's going to grow by roughly $3 trillion over the next 5 years. Now, whether you say $3 trillion or $300 billion or what, it's just so much, okay? And we don't need all of it. But there's some amazing characteristics about this industry, wellness industry. First of all, it's one of the rare industries that's growing where there's no dominant company that exists. So not there's no company in the world that has close to 10% market share. So imagine you're going to go into an e-commerce platform, right? Imagine you're coming up with a business idea that I'm going to create an e-commerce platform and sell stuff to people. And no one would ever finance that for you because Amazon has 50% of the market already. You've lost before you've begun because someone is so dominant there you can't compete with them, right? It's just like you're going to be a low-cost provider of goods to people and you're competing against Walmart. Like, you've already lost. In our business, there's no competitor that has close to 10% market share, which means that over 90% of everybody, probably 98% of everybody that we're competing with, has less resources than we do to invest in research and development and clinical studies to deliver superior products. Does that make sense? There's no guarantee of success in life, but you can really stack the odds in your favor, right? So I don't want to have to be a genius or lucky to be successful. I want to be in an environment where the odds are in our favor. So large growing business, no dominant competitor. In the United States, the place where people buy the most wellness products is one of the worst buying experiences that exists. It is a large box retailer. CVS, Walmart, Target. Like, you go into these stores, there's a sea of stuff. You don't know what's in it. You don't know which one is the right one for you. You just get overwhelmed, and at the end of the day, when you're overwhelmed, what happens? You just shut down and don't do it. And still, more than 50% of all wellness products are bought in this experience. So it's ripe for disruption. Now, the final concluding thing is like, okay, if you want to win the wellness space, and I would like to say, is anybody here slightly competitive? Okay. I learned a long time ago that if you're going to compete, it's a lot more fun if you're number one, okay? And you're gonna work just as hard if you're like number 10 than number one. So, like, who here would like to win this growing wellness space? If you're gonna win this wellness space, the way you win is you actually help people have a better health outcome. You deliver a result that they can see, that they can feel, and that way they can live a better life. And it's hard to do that because you need products that really work, and you need to invest in that. Now, we've crossed the barrier of spending and investing over $500 million, $500 million in research and development and clinical studies. And this year in 2026, we will spend more on clinical studies than in any other year of our 70-year history, okay? Because we believe in investing in the future. Now, this is where all of you come in. If you're going to deliver a better health outcome for somebody, you need three things. You need to provide information, you need amazing products, and then the magic is what you all do every day, a community to support, encourage, celebrate people along their health journey. And that's what leads to these results. And that's why almost a quarter of our sales in Shaklee come from people who've been customers for 30 years or more. And just imagine what kind of health outcome that person has, because nobody buys a product for 30 years or more unless it works. And then from a business standpoint, we have this concept of lifetime value. It's such a unique, powerful monetization vehicle for you to get rewarded for the lifetime value of a customer that you introduced to Shaklee. And for those of you that have been part of Shaklee for a really long time, it's just natural. Like, this is what we do. You introduce somebody and you help them and they stay on it, and this month and next month, I'm gonna run out of stage. And this next decade and next decade, and if you're like a quarter of our sales for 3 decades or more, buying month in and month out, and every time we thank you. We thank you, and we thank you through a commission. And what's so incredible is that there are probably, I'm going to understate this, there are millions of people today who are trying to create a business in the health and wellness industry. Millions of people. They're either posting about it, they're sharing it, they're working it, they're doing something to try to monetize their trusted influence in their community. And I would say, relative to every other way for people to monetize in the wellness business, I believe that Shaklee is the most powerful, the most compelling, the most lucrative, and the longest term value for anyone in the health and wellness industry. So I'm sure almost everybody here has thought through those 6 different reasons why this is the right place for you to be, because of the scope of the industry, the scale of it, the lack of competition, the growth of it, the monetization vehicle. But even if you didn't think about it and you just came here because somebody said I had a product difference and you joined out of enthusiasm, congratulations, you're in the right place, okay? So let's talk very briefly about dreaming, putting it out there, as we say. I think it's such a powerful medium to sort of have an idea and stay to it. I bought Shaklee when I was just turning 40 years old. Okay, I was 39 and change. And I'm grateful for 2 things. One, I feel like I got a 15 to 20 year head start on my wellness, because I knew I should be taking probably some vitamins, but I didn't know which one, and I was really overwhelmed. I was one of those people. And I'm grateful for the 2 decades of Shaklee products that have fueled me to be able to do what I can do physically. I'm grateful for the impact of it. But what happens is that you start your business and it's a dream. And we had an incredible company. We've been in this resort before. We were here like 3 or 4 years ago. And we had maybe half the resort or a third of the resort. And 3 or 4 years later, we now have all of it, but 18 wonderful people will soon be part of it. And when I was last night at the dinner, the one comment everybody said is like, wow, there's a lot of people. And the magic of us getting together is showing our impact. And I always had this dream. My very first Shaklee conference in 2005, I put a slide on the screen, and I said, one day, people will be waiting in line to join this company, okay? And if you say, okay, in the last 12 months, 250,000 people have joined our company, like, that's a lot of people. And we're just getting started. And so you are at the centerpiece. I was driving here today to come, and my son called me, and I'm like, catching up with him, and I was pulling up here, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to go. And he's like, Dad, go inspire the future leaders of Shaklee. And whether you've been in Shaklee for like 50 years like Jude or like 1 year or not, you all are the future leaders of Shaklee. And I just want you to know that there are so many people out there that you will help, and setting your ideas and dreams of whatever it is, it can happen if you put your effort to it, and you're the centerpiece of how that has to happen. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. You're amazing human beings. You're amazing leaders. You're going to help so many people over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. We're going to run out of places to go because they're not big enough, but that's a problem we'll solve. We have an incredible team. I want to take one quick moment. I hope she's here. Is Amy here? There is. Okay, there's Amy Lee on the side. Amy is in charge of our events at Shaklee. And Amy has a very lean team. She's joined by Aurelia and Jim. And I would just like to let you know that I keep testing Amy's ability to expand and scope. We have not increased her resources, but she manages this. She is our official host for all 1,500 plus of you. She's been in Shaklee for 25 years. I've never seen her ruffled. I've never seen her lose a thing, and she takes care of all of us. Amy, thank you so much.